This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we review Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Plus, a top exec suddenly leaves Marvel Studios. James Gunn confirms directing another DC movie, while Ben Affleck says he's never doing another DC movie. The Flash movie has a surprising celebrity fan and a hot rumor dump about Avatar 3 and upcoming MCU things and more, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, March 20th, 2023.
You know who this is, and you know why you're here. You want all the latest comic book and superhero TV and movie news, and by God, you found it. Forget everything else out there. Forget all the Scientology bullshit. This is the real deal. This is the real deal. Worship at the feet of the holy trio of geekdom, the Jock and Nerd podcast. Play it.
Check. Check one. All right, this is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. We talk it, we heard it. We funny, disturb it. We talk it, we heard it. We spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, what's up? Thanks for pressing play, listener, and welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
And joining us, riding in on his pet, killer, bloodthirsty unicorn named Sparkles, it's Captain Bolt, but we call him Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
Fear my horn.
That horn will impale you. Don't trust those unicorns. Yeah, listener, we have put a voice modulator on Anthony this week. Just thought it would be fun. How's that working out?
We put out his Harvey Firestein mod. So
yeah, you've upgraded to the Harvey Firestein voice. Do you care to explain for the listener?
There's not really much of an explanation. I lost my voice in Los Angeles this past weekend in the city of angels.
God bless you.
And the devil came in and is in my vocal cords right now.
You sold your soul to him, didn't you, for some partying?
Yes.
Oh, God bless you. Post-party Anthony voice.
You're getting post-party Anthony.
That's amazing.
But I'm sacrificing my voice because I might lose it by the end of the show. And I have to work tomorrow.
He's got
and
LA
I'm sacrificing
HPV.
it for you guys because I wanted to be here and talk about the things we have to talk about today.
I appreciate
Understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I appreciate the commitment. And look, I know why you were partying. I know the real reason, Anthony.
What's that?
It's because, listener, this week's episode completes 8 years of Jock and Nerd being a podcast.
Oh shit!
We are
Wow.
8 years old this week. Happy birthday to us!
Yeah.
Yes, and your voice should sound like that after 8 years of doing this.
Long years.
Yeah.
You believe it that long?
It doesn't feel like yesterday.
Well, look, to put it in a little bit of perspective, we have podcasted through 3 different U.S. presidential administrations.
Wow.
2 Olympics, 1 pandemic.
Right.
And when we started, the MCU was only in phase 2. It was only 10 movies deep. Yes.
Wow.
You can listen to all of that. All of the nonsense is online. Over 500 episodes of content in the feed, including Anthony's spin-off show. So, fellas, congratulations. I don't know. Whatever. It's been fucking 8 years.
I can't believe it's been that long.
Right.
But whatever. Yeah.
We'd be in the 2nd grade. We have an 8-year-old child that we need to discipline every now and then. But
I just can't believe that we've committed to this, to doing this every week, almost without fail for 8 years. It's like not a lot of podcasts can say that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we've only missed like a few weeks, I think 3 maybe in total. And so
Not very many, no.
That is a lot of content. I don't know how this show keeps getting made. I black out and then it's just done. So it's on autopilot.
Do you still listen to the entire show before you put it out?
Yes, for the most part, because I go back and I trim it up, I edit it, I make it nice, and so I have to go back and listen to everything.
How long would you say it takes you to put out the show?
Okay, so that's a good question. And
let's let the listener in.
Yeah, this is how much work goes
into it. Take a peek into your bathroom. I mean, your bedroom. I mean, in your workroom, wherever you do this.
You can look wherever you want. First of all, these two fuckers over here don't do shit. Let's just get that out of the way, right?
Nothing. No, I agree.
I've got it down to a system that takes me anywhere. On average, it's like 8 hours a show.
Oh, man.
Including research, including watching the thing, recording, editing, putting the show notes, publishing.
But we do it. We research and look at stuff too.
No, you guys do contribute, and I thank you for that. And so it's, I
have to watch the shows that we review.
Okay, I do like 95% of the shit, right? I'll give you 5%.
Are you factoring in the 8 hours the research you're doing?
Yeah,
watching? Oh, okay, okay.
All of that.
I thought you were doing an additional 8 hours on top of like enjoying what we're watching.
It's like 8 to 10 on average, but no, I counted all that, including like watching a movie or whatever.
About 5 or 6 hours of work.
Yeah, I mean, yes, and that's just after just doing it constantly every week.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's a lot, but I do it because I love it. I still look forward to doing this show every week. It's a lot of fun. And look, we got a movie to review, a comic book movie, and a lot of interesting news. Breaking. Let's get started, you 8-year-olds.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Will you, before we start, for lunch, can I trade you my apple for your hot Cheetos? Since we're 8 years old,
I'll give you. You got cinnamon Mott's applesauce. I'll take that. Nobody's taking my pizza that comes in a cardboard box. That's mine. Remember that shit?
What's being packed in 8-year-old lunches these days?
Oh, we have
quinoa salad and broccolini.
Yes.
Oh my god.
We got fucking alternate. Oh yeah, I don't know. We
snack
had
bags.
Yeah.
I had a
Jell-O snack bags.
Star Crunch, Capri Sun, some applesauce, Nutty Bars, Little Debbie all day. I think I just ate junk food for the first like 15
My mom
years
would pack me like Filipino food that smelled really bad when you put it in the microwave.
That's great.
So I made her Americanize me and make like sandwiches and Lunchables and shit.
You had a microwave in your fucking school?
That's what there was one microwave
you could use. We didn't have that.
You wouldn't use it. You'd tell the teacher would heat it up.
Oh, okay.
You, at 8 years old, you definitely didn't know how to use a microwave. You probably pick your head in there.
Yeah.
At 8 years old? No. Like our generation, we could fucking do anything at 8 years old. We could fucking.
We were latchkey kids. I was a latchkey kid. They just let me come home and watch TV.
I knew how to program the VCR. I knew how to fucking.
Wow. Well, the VCR that every 8-year-old knew at the time.
I knew how to use. I make microwave popcorn. Do all that shit. I mow the lawn.
I was forced to do labor when I was 8.
I'd go and get my dad a pack of cigarettes from the store, and they'd sell it to me.
Yeah, remember that shit? I used to go to a liquor store down the street to play Super Mario Brothers arcade game.
I would buy lottery tickets and cigarettes for my dad.
You could just go, it's for my dad.
And they would just sell it to me.
They'd be like, okay, no problem. What's a different world, kids?
Yeah.
That's all we're saying. All right, look, let's start with this news that just broke today. Apparently, it's a big deal regarding the Marvel Studios executives department. How do you know it's a big deal? Well, because every big trade started this headline with the words "shocker : " So I'm like, oh, this must be a big deal. Headline from
shocker :
and then headline.
Oh,
I thought shock your colon.
Shock your colon.
Electric car charge.
Shock your monkey.
Oh,
monkey. Well. Headline from the Hollywood Reporter: Shocker. Marvel Studios veteran Victoria Alonso exits.
Oh, shit.
It says here, Victoria Alonso, longtime and high-profile Marvel Studios executive whose time with the company dates back to the first Iron Man, has left the studio. Multiple sources tell the Hollywood Reporter. The reasons for the exit are unclear, but she parted ways with Marvel on Friday. She had been with the company since the earliest days. She had a 17-year run producing all the movies, watching the studio grow from operating above a Mercedes-Benz dealership in Beverly Hills to being acquired by Disney. And during her tenure, MCU became the highest grossing franchise in film history. What does this mean?
No idea.
Is this a big shocker? Is this a big deal? It's hard to know what executives do sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at the comments on Instagram when I saw this, or Twitter. Might have been one of the two.
Yeah.
People were pretty happy. I think because of the fact that she's been in charge of the VFX.
Yes. In 2021, she was promoted to president, physical and post-production, visual effects and animation production, president of VFX production. So,
and I don't know if there's been like, I don't know if it's like since she got in charge, but because we've gotten so much more content, people are definitely noticing the flaws in the VFX more now.
Well, and like, Ant-Man kind of underperforms or whatever and kind of takes a review hit, and people are like, is this the reason? Here's something interesting, digging up some things on the internet. We may know why, and it is related to VFX. Chris Lee on Twitter. Chris Lee is the senior reporter for Vulture and New York Magazine. This is a Twitter thread he's posted just a couple of hours ago. I'm just going to read a couple of them. He says, so many VFX sources have told me Victoria Alonso was singularly responsible for Marvel's toxic work environment, a kingmaker who rewarded unquestioning fealty with an avalanche of work, but who also maintained the blacklist that kept FX pros wild-eyed with fear. She held a crazy amount of power, bigfooting all major creative decisions on Marvel movies and shows. Quote, Kevin Feige and Victoria Alonso personally approve every single shot, all the visual effects work, which is usually the job of a director or a showrunner, unquote, one tech told him. And then this last quote is, the main one that everyone's quite scared of is Victoria Alonso. Another tech said, if she likes you, you're going to get work and you're going to move up in the industry. If you have pissed her off in any way, you're going to get frozen out. So now, suddenly this shocking sudden departure kind of makes sense. Comments on this? Is this why all the VFX people are upset? It sounds like it. Maybe things can get better now.
I don't know. I think it's a narrative that may work in Marvel's favor.
Because they can blame it on her now.
Yeah, but I don't know. Has she been involved in special effects that long?
She just was promoted to president of VFX in 2021. So recently. So the last 2 years.
But she was doing VFX before that.
Oh,
she just got the title of president, yeah.
Oh. But she co-produced. She served as a producer on every movie.
So she's been on the inside of this for a while then, right?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 17 years. Long time.
Okay.
She was a big part of it, big part of this whole success.
I feel like if you have something that is affecting the work of the VFX and you want to correct it, I don't know if she was fired or if she just was like, I'm gone.
Right?
That's unclear.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yep.
So that would probably give you a little bit more information. Whether it was, go ahead.
She was, I was going to say, just to clarify, she joined Marvel Studios in 2006 as chief of visual effects and post-production.
Shit. Oh, she did.
She's been the VFX. She's been in part of VFX for the whole entire time.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay,
take that for what you will.
Yeah, there's.
Well, yeah, I don't think you have a picture of what was good. I mean, there's definitely some good in there. So
yeah, no, she was. She's responsible for making the franchise what it is and make money.
But we have heard this narrative for the past couple years, though, that the VFX people are being treated like shit and overworked, and they're just So maybe this is a factor,
a part of the reason, possibly. Yes,
it almost feels like, I know Chapek was high levels above her, but it feels like with him leaving and now this lady leaving, a lot of people are just like, either Marvel, Disney is spinning this, or it's just the legitimate reaction of people are being like, okay, now Marvel maybe might be able to get their shit together.
Yeah, it's unclear.
They're almost using them as scapegoats.
Yeah. I mean, the same with the rumors of Kathleen Kennedy, stepping down this year or leaving later. I think some Star Wars fans want to see that, but I think she wants one more hit. But this kid, she will be used as a scapegoat, even though she did a lot of good. But maybe people are happier now. I don't know. It's crazy.
I think that the way that I see it is that Disney as an entity is made up of so many people that one person leaving, even if they have a lot of pull, it's not going to make a huge impact.
But if she was approving every VFX shot.
Yeah, but I mean, they have to completely change the way they do things in order for things to be different. You can't just be like, now you're in charge. You're going to be, because like all of the infrastructure and the machine is still working the same way.
Right.
You know what I mean? All you have is like, you change the valve. That's it.
Right. Like, it kind of shows what this Marvel method is that maybe the directors really don't have as much say as we think they do. And it doesn't matter.
Well, we don't know. We just don't know exactly what this means.
Right.
Like, it's a big fucking company. There's a lot of shit going on. There's a lot of entrenched shit going on. So, we'll see it when you'll see the attitude change at Disney when you'll just know when the work comes out and it's different.
Right. We'll see it there in the work, and then do more people just suddenly leave? That could also be telling this starts a chain reaction or something. Anyways, I guess it's shocking news. Listener, let us know what you think. You can join this conversation. Join our Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. Jock and Nerd. There is a link in the show description. It's a closed, exclusive group just for you, listener. Join it. Lots of fun. Okay, let's move on. I got some fun DCEU news we can discuss here.
It's not the DCEU, is it?
Oh, no, it is DC Studios. It's just the DCU now. Mm-hmm. Not EU, but U. Oh, also, when we started 8 years ago, there was only one DCEU movie, Man of Steel.
That's right.
Yes, that's how long ago it was. Speaking of Man of Steel and Superman, we know Gunn and Safran are rebooting DC Studios, Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, and the first film was going to be a James Gunn written Superman Legacy, and we guessed he's probably going to direct it. Well, it's been confirmed. He has confirmed he is indeed directing Superman Legacy. So that's good. It's moving forward. Now they got to find their Clark, their Lois, the rest of their cast. But now that we know this is happening, do we think James Gunn has the skill, the palette, the bags of tricks to make a good Superman movie, and not have it have dick jokes and not do some of the things you see him do, which are great, in the Suicide Squad and Guardians and Peacemaker.
That is all. That is all a result of he's able to look at himself and say, "Look, I'm not going to lean on my bag of tricks anymore. I'm going to kind of reinvent myself as a director."
Yes, I would love to see that. Is he flexible enough? Anthony, I saw on Twitter, Gunn posted that he has been watching the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2, and he said he wants to stay true to the original. Do you think he has the flexibility as a director to make a good Superman movie?
I would like to think, and I said before that I was a little worried about it, but not as worried now. I would like to think he's smart. I think he's smart enough to know that a Superman movie shouldn't really be about, shouldn't have dick jokes and gray beard.
You would think, right?
You would think he knows that. Yeah. So it actually makes me more intrigued about the movie because of the fact that he's doing something that's a little bit, a lot of bit different than what we would normally come to expect him doing for a superhero franchise.
It is a way for him to grow and show us,
Yeah, it's like when a director does something. Like, I'm trying to think of when a popular director has done something that you went, "Whoa, he's doing that,"
just out of right field. It's like George Miller doing Babe, right? You're like, what the fuck? That. George Miller is directing a movie about a pig? Okay, and it was amazing.
Yes, it was.
It's a fucking great movie.
But Steven Spielberg could pull shit like that, and
he could do every genre,
kind of about face and do different things like that. I mean, other directors have done it. Like Kubrick's done shit like that.
It's time for Gunn to step up. I think this is really going to test him and take him.
But is he like a Ridley Scott that can make completely different kinds of movies? Is he like a Richard Donner who can make different kinds of movies?
I mean, if he channels any of that,
we don't know that.
Yeah. I think it's there. Also, how do you run a studio and write and direct a fucking huge movie at the same time? Sounds exhausting. But at least there's two of them.
I don't know. This could be great. It could be a disaster. I don't know. There's a lot of factors in here. He's going to be spreading himself a little thin, you think?
Oh, yeah. You would think. You would think. If he's running the studio, you would think everything still has to go through him. But if you're making a film, that's 8 to 12 months of intense work where you're focused on that. It almost seems like a kind of an ego flex, but again, I'm intrigued to see him doing something that is spreading out on his wings a little bit.
I think that's why there's two of them. No, I think Peter Safran is going to have to
I think Peter Safran's more of the business part of it.
Yeah.
Right, from what I gathered, maybe you said that, and then Gunn was more the creative side.
Yeah. He said he was offered Superman years ago, so it's been on his mind. I'm kind of I'm intrigued. I'm excited.
Let's make a prediction here.
Yeah.
Okay, you take John Byrne's Man of Steel, run, right?
Yeah, All-Star Superman.
Well, no, the one that reinvented Superman in the 80s.
Oh, right. Okay.
And that run, which is basically quintessential Superman, right?
Yeah.
How far away is that? Is Gunn from that? Is he going to stick to that classic Superman version, or do you think he's going to veer off? Because the criticism is that Zack Snyder veered off and made Superman like kind of like an ambivalent, not a Boy Scout, more of an alien, not kind of like distance him from humanity, right? Yeah. And the John Byrne run made him like, oh, he's a human through and through. Like he's just, he's this guy farm boy from Kansas.
Yeah, I think he will go back to that.
The All-Star Superman is kind of like that vibe with Grant Morrison. But I mean, what Zack Snyder was trying to do was trying to put Superman like in a grounded context of like this really happened type thing. But the version of Superman I prefer is what you were saying, was John Byrne, where he's an alien, but he's more human than humans. Like he understands humanity on a like. He's the best of us, even though he's an alien, which makes it like a weird dichotomy.
Right.
So I hope he does. Go ahead, Ruggs.
No. I wish that. I hope that people. I mean, he seems to be my age or around my age, so maybe he remembers it as being as seminal and as anchoring to the character as I do. Because we did have a good run, like even until the death of Superman. Yeah, Superman was pretty solid. And then in this kind of post-death Superman, it's been up and down. But I don't know. I mean, the Man of Steel thing, and then you have that video game. I forgot what it was called. Injustice, where Superman's evil. And that was kind of a thing for a while, and that was very uncreative. It's just strange. Like then there was like that other movie that was made by Singer, right? That was like an homage to Donner's movies. Superman Returns, and that didn't go over well because he didn't fight anybody. So it was just all these weird takes. Like even the Tim Burton wanted to make one with Nick Cage.
Oh, I would love to see that one. That one looked fucking crazy with crazy.
Like it's just a strange thing that like if you don't know where the home is, you're going to go off the rails.
I mean, he loves comic books. He grew up a big geek and nerd, so I think he's going to stay true to it.
I hope so too.
Yeah, I hope so.
I'd be excited to see if he does.
We will see July 2025. That movie's coming out. So James Gunn directing another DC movie. You know who is not directing any more comic book movies ever because of DC? That would be one Ben Affleck.
Oh, shit.
Says he's done. There's this amazing lengthy interview.
He never did a comic book movie.
Well, he's just done with DC films in general. Playing Batman and DC films. It's an amazing Hollywood Reporter in-depth article because that movie Air, that he started a production company with Matt Damon, and they've produced stars in it. Apparently it premiered at South by Southwest, got a standing ovation. I heard it's a very good. I'm excited. I love those stories. I know Ruggs thinks it's silly. Thought he was watching a Nike commercial. But that movie looks amazing. Anyways, let me just give you a couple of quotes from this article. Regarding playing Batman and the upcoming movie, The Flash, he says, I did finally figure out how to play that character, Batman, and I nailed it in The Flash. For the 5 minutes I'm there, it's really great. So he finally, in his last hurrah, figured out how to play Batman. And then this is great. Talking about Justice League, he said, you could teach a seminar on all the reasons why this is how not to do it, ranging from production to bad decisions to horrible personal tragedy and just ending with the most monstrous taste in my mouth. He goes on to say the 4-hour Zack Snyder Justice League cut is his highest rated movie on IMDb. So he's glad he's in it. And we knew he was going to direct a Batman. He talks about that. He says, I was going to direct a Batman, and Justice League made me go, I'm out. I never want to do any of this again. I'm not suited. That was the worst experience I've ever seen in a business, which is full of some shitty experiences. It broke my heart. There was an idea of someone, Joss Whedon, coming in, like, I'll rescue you and we'll do 60 days of shooting and I'll write a whole thing around what you have. I've got the secret. And it wasn't the secret. That was hard. And I started to drink too much. I was back at the hotel in London. It was either that or jump out the window. This is what he said. So then they asked him, if DC Studios reaches out, would you ever do another project? He goes, I would not direct something for the James Gunn DC. Absolutely not. I have nothing against James Gunn. Nice guy. Sure, he's going to do a great job. I just wouldn't want to go in and direct in the way they're doing that. I'm not interested in that. He's done.
He's done, yeah.
Sounds
like he's done.
Finally fucking done. Wow. So
sounds like he didn't have a good experience, huh?
Yes. It sounds abysmal. And I mean, this man has won, like, he's directed Oscar-winning movies. He won an Oscar at 25. He's 50 now. It's kind of crazy. And I was kind of excited to see him maybe direct that Brave and Bold Batman, but listen, DC Studios. And then I got, there's another director we're going to get to later who's also done with comic book movies because of DC and Warner Brothers. So I don't know. They have that effect on people. What do you guys think? Do you feel for him? Is this a big loss?
I don't think Affleck was really ever suited to do comic book movies. He always felt out of place. Like, he did his job. I thought he was a very intimidating looking Batman, and he had the physical presence, and all of that. I don't think that was the problem. I just felt like, like they weren't doing him justice. Like, he's on like a different wavelength. Like, he could do other things, and he doesn't need to be doing this shit. So
no, he's put in some incredible performances, directed some really good movies.
Yeah, so he doesn't need to be doing this shit.
He was a good Batman.
Yeah, he was fine, but don't try and force something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't have to. All you're gonna get is shit if you force someone to do something they don't want to do. They got to be into it.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. I think he was perfectly fine as Batman. I liked his presence, his physicality. Would have been intrigued to see him do a Batman movie just because similar to James Gunn doing directing a Superman, it'd be interesting to see the guy that did Argo and The Town and do a Batman movie, but it didn't happen. And Batman, the character, as we've seen, is bigger than any one actor and is bigger than any one director. So, it is what it is.
I mean, we will get to see him one last time, right? He just said he's in The Flash. The bits from the trailer look dope with him. He's got a gray and blue suit. The Flash coming out June 16th. It will be screened at this year's CinemaCon, I believe, before it comes out. So a lot of people will be seeing it early and talking about it. There's another person who saw The Flash early and loved it so much. And this fan is the unlikely one, Tom Cruise. For this article, Hollywood Reporter sources tell the reporter that Cruise has seen the movie and loved it so much that he cold called the movie's director, Andy Muschietti, to rave about it, which is kind of weird.
Wow.
That's
a good look right there.
Yeah, so this is interesting. Apparently in February, Cruise had a meeting with Warner Brothers, Zaslav's CEO, David Zaslav. He said how much the movie was great. Cruise was like, can I see it? Zaslav was like, okay. And they sent a Warner employee with the movie to Tom Cruise's home, Beverly Hills. They stayed with him while he watched it and then took the movie back. So it wouldn't leak out. So then he reaches out to Muschietti, and he is said to have raved about the movie, saying something to the effect that Flash is, quote, everything you want in a movie, and, quote, this is the kind of movie we need now, according to insiders.
Wow.
This man couldn't show up to the Oscars, but he loves The Flash.
Fuck the Oscars.
What do we think?
Fuck those guys.
As
I don't even like that name.
What the Oscar? Tom Cruise as a movie critic. How? I mean, is his opinion? Where do you put his opinion?
Well, from what I know about Tom Cruise is that he has a very big respect for anyone trying to make anything. He's not the type of guy to shit on anything. He knows how much care and struggle has to go into making a film, and especially something with stunts and complicated shots.
He knows the whole process, doesn't he?
So he's not going to shit on anything.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have been polite if it was shit. But this amount of to do is maybe
he really
is advocating for this.
Yeah, loves this movie. Does that make you more excited or less excited to see the movie, Anthony? Doesn't matter.
It does make me a little bit more excited. Yeah. The only thing that tempers my excitement on anything until James Gunn has officially released something underneath his watch is I just don't know what it means for the overall DC DCU.
DCU, yeah.
Everyone that said that they've seen this movie or talked about this movie, including James Gunn, has said it's freaking awesome. So that's cool.
I mean, I think this is probably my most anticipated DC movie this year. And we'll get into what these movies mean this year when we review the movie, this week's review. It's all part of it. Okay, I have here now a series of like rumors from one Jeff Sneider via the Hot Mic podcast with John Rocha, Jeff Sneider. I've been starting to listen to it. It's a fun show. But Sneider is apparently he's got a lot of sources and he's pretty accurate on things. Have you guys heard of the Jeff Sneider and his?
Well, I know John Rocha.
Yeah, John Rocha, and then a lot of the things he has Jeff Sneider come on, and Jeff Sneider has people telling him things, and he reveals them on the show, and I think he's pretty reputable and accurate. Anyways, let's start with this first rumor, and then I'm going to run through a whole bunch of Marvel rumors he talked about like last week. It's kind of fun. But this one regards Avatar 3. And we talked a few weeks ago how James Cameron had a 9-hour cut for Avatar 3, had to work on cutting it down. Well, he may not have to cut all of it down because according to insider Jeff Sneider, Cameron plans to drop the extended 9-hour cut of Avatar 3 as a limited series on Disney Plus after Avatar 3 hits theaters. That is kind of wild and kind of smart at the same time. Now this means, because I think if you want more, it'll drive subscribers. It's similar to what they did with Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO Max. And that worked well for views, apparently. It's like one of their most viewed things. But that means also the studio has to pay for 9 hours of visual effects. How much fucking money does that cost?
A lot.
But do you guys,
every shot is visual
yeah,
effects.
the whole thing. And we already know the movies are
triple the amount of movie he had in the other two.
2, 4, 6. It's like a $6 billion movie. Would you watch, having watched the movie? I mean, we haven't seen the movie, but would you go home and then watch this 9-hour?
Probably not. It depends on how I see this movie. If I see this Avatar 3 and it fucking blows my mind and I need to know what happens, like I need to know more, which I don't think will happen. But I mean, if it does, then yeah, I'll watch fucking 9 hours. It's only 9 episodes, right? So it's not a big deal.
It's a crazy strategy, Anthony. I can't think of another situation like this where a dude has put out a movie and then just put out a fucking triple long extended version as a series on TV.
Yeah, this is, I respect James Cameron. I think I love James Cameron. I like a lot of his movies. This seems like, on the surface, I mean, I'm also with Ruggs. I don't think I'd watch a 9-hour Avatar 3. I completely agreed. I'd have to depend on if Avatar 3 was good.
It'd have to blow you away.
This seems like a guy really throwing around his weight.
It's a little indulgent.
To ask a studio to be like, hey, invest in my 9-hour movie because I can't cut it down to 3 and I want to put it on, or I can't cut it down enough and I think it's going to be so awesome that I'm going to throw it. Like, come on, man. We asked you to make a movie. We didn't ask you to make a TV show.
But yeah, and apparently he insists on like VFX being completed on everything he shot, even if he's going to cut it, which seems that's all big spend there.
There's only a few guys that could probably make that ask and not get told go fucking do something else. And he's one of them.
He is one of them.
James, when you make billions of dollars with every film that you make,
3 movies that made over $2 billion.
Yeah, you could just do whatever you want.
Yeah,
you know?
9 out. Like, my God, dude, you're really gonna ask everyone to. You're gonna make that poor VFX staff.
Oh my God,
it's overworked by Marvel.
Yeah, they're gonna hang. They're gonna
do
hang
a 9-hour thing.
But it would be like a season of television if it was 9 episodes and you could go home and watch it whenever. Like we watch 9-episode series all the time.
I mean, you're getting a twofer. Like he's gonna shoot it anyway, and he's got to edit it down. Yeah. So I don't know.
They could double dip with a Disney subscribers.
It is kind of lame, but and indulgent. So you know,
that movie better be good.
You're right though. If it's good, I'll watch.
On one hand, though, these effects guys are getting paid to do this.
Yeah.
So it's good for them. They're making money. They don't give a fuck. They're like, oh, we get to work a little bit more. Cool. Yeah, I just think that I don't think anybody's going to want to see it. But I've been wrong before. I mean, when I went to go see Avatar 2, I wasn't really Mr. Enthusiastic about it. And then I came out of it and going, you know what? I'm glad I saw it. Even though it wasn't the most riveting story, I'm glad I got to see it in the theaters.
Also,
and enjoy that.
Avatar 2, right, up for Best Picture this year at the Oscars. You'd think Cameron would show up. Didn't show up. Him and Tom Cruise both up for Best Picture in their movies.
He knew that he wasn't getting it.
I think
he knew what was going on.
Yeah, he knew.
But it's a little disrespectful. You just show up and support your fucking other filmmakers, right? It's a celebration. It's not the Cameron and Cruise show. Well, Cruise I can understand because he's a target and they're going to make jokes and he's weird. But Cameron should have showed up.
I think he knew he wasn't winning.
There's no chance.
Yeah, no, I think he's also like, fuck you guys. I know I'm not getting this. I'm not wasting my time, which is a little, whatever. It's James Cameron. Okay, moving on here real quick. I'm going to give you some of these rumors he gave in a quick segment. You just give me a quick comment what you guys think, all right?
Yeah.
There may be some spoilers. I don't know.
Spoiler alert.
This is all stuff he's heard. Regarding Fantastic Four, he has heard the Thing, Ben Grimm, will be Jewish like he is in the comics.
Okay, so he'll have a circumcised rock penis.
Oh my God! Yeah, they can show you that. You get,
Yeah, sure. That's how we know. That's the only way you see.
Does that mean Seth Rogen will play
Is
the
it
Thing?
circumcised or uncircumcised?
Well, it's gonna have a little bit cut off.
Well, it broke off.
Yeah.
He's a chisel. They had to use a chisel at his bris. That's how that works.
Yeah.
So then you hire like a Seth Rogen type to play the Thing. Anyways, Anthony, comment. It's okay.
Nothing.
Okay. Regarding the Marvels, Jeff Sneider heard that the delays on this movie are caused by Brie Larson a little bit. Apparently, she's a nightmare on set. He said he heard that he's clashed with Teyonah Parris, who plays Monica Rambeau, and she's upset the movie is not called Captain Marvel 2 and doesn't understand maybe that this is the Marvel method and the big star doesn't matter. I don't know. That's what. Any comment on that?
I believe it. Sure.
I believe all of it. I like this from what we've seen.
Yeah.
We don't know everything, obviously, but from what I've seen of her in interactions with her co-stars and promoting movies, and it seems to be on brand for what she is. And also, the reason why it's not called Captain Marvel 2 is because a lot of the criticism of the first movie was her.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, so that's why they're probably adding in all these other Marvels because they're like, we don't want you to hire this movie next time.
And she's an Oscar winner and she's probably a little miffed. You know who else is difficult? Apparently on the set of Blade, Mahershala Ali, another Oscar winner. Sneider has heard that he is not happy with the script and the choices that are being made, and also thinks Blade should be built around him.
So Wesley Snipes is like rolling up right now. He's like, "Yo, dudes,
you don't want this job? Yo, you know what?
Let me say something about Mahershala Ali. Yeah. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because we haven't seen the movie made yet.
Right.
So he is an Oscar winner. I think it should be built around him. But if the movie comes out and it's like how Brie Larson was in Captain Marvel, then I'll say, in Blade 2, we should probably bring someone else. We should probably do something a little different.
Now, this is the conjecture here. Who is Blade going to be about besides Blade? Like, who is he competing with? Is it the Black Knight?
Well, we don't know the script, but yes, Black Knight. We heard his voice at the end of Eternals. Maybe we heard Mahershala Ali's Blade talk to the Black Knight. But you know how they do this, where it's never like they're going to shove in other side characters, and it kind of takes some of the thunder away in these Marvels.
Yeah,
it happens.
That's weird, but
so
whatever.
If he's saying this movie is turning out not to be about Blade at this stage in the script writing, maybe that's a little disconcerting. I don't know.
Right. I agree with him. I don't think that if you do have the Black Knight in there, it shouldn't be like a major character.
Okay, next rumor is about Silver Surfer.
Right.
Apparently, Jeff Sneider has heard that a multi-project deal has been made with Matt Shakman.
Would he direct
WandaVision?
Okay.
So a multi-project deal with Matt Shakman too.
Isn't he doing Fantastic Four too?
I think, does he have Fantastic Four? Wasn't that? It was because John Watts left, right?
Right. So Matt Shankman, not Shakman.
It's not Shakman? Shankman.
Yeah.
Anyways, the guy from WandaVision.
Oh, no, Shakman, you're right.
Oh,
sorry.
See? Fuck you.
Oh, shit.
Son of a bitch.
Oh,
sorry. So the rumor is that he will direct the Vision Quest series about the White Vision. And I just saw another article saying they got their writers, and it's two of the writers from WandaVision. So that's great because they're connected to that. But then also he's going to direct a Silver Surfer thing, whatever they're going to produce, whether it's a series or a special presentation. And kind of tied into that, I found this article on the Direct titled 6 Upcoming Disney Plus Special Rumored to Be in Development. And this lines in with the Jeff Sneider rumor. The 6 specials are Sentry, Silver Surfer, Mephisto, who is being played, we never talked about this, by Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh my God.
Mephisto, Sacha Baron Cohen is going to be in the Agatha show, and they're shooting a special. Man-Thing gets a special presentation, Ghost Rider, and Nova. It's a lot of shit right there. Comment on all of that.
What do you want us to comment on first? The Silver Surfer thing or all these shows?
How about Silver Surfer and Matt Shackman kind of doing Vision Quest? He's doing Fantastic Four and Fantastic Four, and that makes sense then.
Yes.
He would do the Silver Surfer.
Exactly. And I would say, to Shackman's credit, he was the only guy, one of the only guys that produced a Marvel TV show that stood out.
Yeah, I still think it's probably the best one they've put out of all of them.
Right. Like creatively, it actually felt like a TV show because it felt unique and different. It felt like TV was actually the right medium for that. So he did something good, and it would make sense that he would do Silver Surfer if he's doing and he is doing Fantastic Four at this moment.
I really think that these 1 hour specials or whatever they're going to be, however long they're going to be, I think that that's the right way to go with some of these characters.
Yes,
you introduce them.
Yeah.
And you don't have to take it that seriously. The expectations aren't that high.
Yes.
But the only thing that I worry about is how it translates to the big screen.
Well, I was just going to say that if you do,
they're going to be able to make the leap from this like little special presentation.
If you do a
movie,
Silver Surfer special presentation for TV, are you putting Galactus in this fucking thing? Because he's tied to Galactus directly. Is that where you want to see Galactus on your TV screen first? I don't know.
Yeah, that is weird a little bit.
But
maybe they do it. I don't know. They have to do it in Fantastic Four.
So Sentry.
One thing too. One quick thing is, I think the specials are also the right way to go because we've seen that they really can't produce TV all that well consistently.
Right, a series.
Series. But they have been able to put out 2 specials that did pretty well.
Yeah,
creatively.
Yeah,
and it's just easier. It's just
they're like
less content.
Yeah, they're mini movies. You can play with the length. They can be an hour or less or a little over. It doesn't really matter as long as the story
should be
needs.
70 minutes.
As long as the story needs. You don't have to worry about it and just tell your story. So like Sentry, I think that would be cool to see him in a fucking special. Silver Surfer would be cool. Sacha Baron Cohen playing Mephisto. Oh my god,
geek boner.
First of all, finally they're giving us Mephisto after the years of Mephisto memes and teases, and they have teased it. And I think he's fucking perfect. I could totally see him in that red makeup with horns. He's fucking
he does kind of look like him.
Right? He's fantastic. Man-Thing makes sense. Man-Thing was great in Werewolf by Night. I want to see more. Ghost Rider, I think a special presentation is a good way to bring him in. And then Nova, I don't know. I don't really care about Nova, but with Guardians being done, and maybe that's how they can continue with some of the characters.
I completely agree. I think and all those characters, I agree. Even like I'm not a big Nova guy, but all those other characters on paper seem like fun characters to see.
Yeah, so that's exciting. Hopefully the rumors are true. And then, okay, that was it for the MCU. This last one I have to share because it's about one of my favorite fucking 80s comedy movies. Did you know that they are making a Beetlejuice 2?
Oh shit!
It's been in the works for many years, but it's actually fucking getting made. The first movie is amazing. I love it. I can watch it over and over again. I could do every line. The big rumor here, Beetlejuice 2 returning as director Tim Burton, returning as Beetlejuice Michael fucking Keaton, Winona Ryder returning as Lydia Dietz, and rumor is Jenna Ortega is in talks to play Lydia Dietz's daughter, which is fucking perfect casting. And then this just came out 9 hours ago. Headline: Beetlejuice 2, Jean-Claude Van Damme rumored to be playing a ghost.
Oh shit!
In fucking Beetlejuice, this is amazing.
I love the movie Beetlejuice. I want to be in it. I want to do round kicks.
He's gonna play a French-Canadian ghost that died in a hockey game. No, I don't know.
I thought he was going to do like a Patrick Swayze ghost.
Oh, that kind of ghost. Where it's like, let me hold your hands.
I want to play with the clay.
Let me put your hands in the clay here.
Yes.
Good.
Like to throw pottery.
Joe Blow says this is just a rumor, but I think it would be amazing. Fans of Beetlejuice, Anthony, have you seen Beetlejuice?
Saw it once a long time ago.
What'd you think?
I don't know real memory.
Oh
of
my
it.
God, it's an amazing
I fucking love Beetlejuice.
It is the best.
I mean, I don't love it as much as I love other movies, but it's definitely a fun movie to watch.
It's weird because it is PG, but there is some like he swears. He says doesn't he say the F word? In
nice fucking model.
He goes nice fucking model in a PG movie. This is what we were doing in the 80s.
Oh yeah, it's got a lot of adult shit in there.
It got so much adult. Like he goes to a brothel at one point, the little miniature.
Yeah.
But one of Michael Keaton's fucking greatest characters, the Harry Belafonte music, the way Tim Burton incorporates, like, it's funny and weird, but then it's scary. Like, there's horror moments. There's disturbing things that happen. You know, he does it great in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, where Marge's face opens and it's claymation and it's just fucking weird and disturbing.
Yeah.
The same thing in Beetlejuice with the hands coming out when they do the musical number. I fucking love this movie. I could watch it all day long.
It's one of those ones you could, like Ghostbusters or any of those things. You could throw it on and you could just enjoy it at any moment.
So, Ruggs, are you excited for a sequel with all this news?
I don't know. Whatever. Like, it's a classic. You can just leave it alone. You don't need to do anything.
You know what, though? If Burton and Keaton and Winona Ryder and Jenna Ortega and Jean-Claude Van Damme, I'm fucking in. Let me see this movie. I would love to see Beetlejuice.
Again, all right, sure.
With Michael Keaton.
Why not?
The original also started Catherine O'Hara, Alec Baldwin, Gina Davis, Jeffrey Jones playing the dad.
But one guy's what is his name? Alec whatever.
Otho, the guy, or Glenn Shattuck says Otho, Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin's going to jail.
Well,
I don't know why Gina Davis wouldn't be in it. But
you could put Gina Davis returning or just have a different set of ghosts that live in that house. I fucking love Beetlejuice. I was excited to hear this. Bring it on. Good. I hate when that happens. I can't even think of all the fucking lines he does.
I'll save that one for later.
Yes, saves his burps. Oh, the cartoon was great. Anyways, good stuff. Let's take a break here real quick. Play some promos. We're going to come back and talk about the latest entry into the DC universe of movies right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Dig on America.
Your organization's terrible.
Hey guys, this is Jason Dutch with Dig on America podcast, and I'm here with
Big Hops.
Do you have to say your name so weird?
How you want me to say?
And I'm also here with
Mikey Famine.
the excuser.
Do it over. No, it's staying.
No, it's staying the way it is because this is the way the show is. Dig on America here, we explore how American history, policies, and sometimes even our pop culture created the social and political issues facing Americans today. A little bit about us.
I'm your resident brother of the league. I love America so much that I demand she be better through constant criticism and protest. Thank you.
And in your Obama voice, Mikey, I don't like Obama.
Of course you don't. You also don't like bathing and healthy meals. What Dig on America is it's a healthy criticism of a country.
America's already perfect. You should know we're perfect just like my hands.
Well, I mean, a lot of people might say that, but those people probably haven't gone to school or brushed their teeth today. So, we're going to ignore them. But yeah, check out our show. It's unbeholden to any corporate overlords, except for Jay-Z, the Bilderberg Foundation.
George Soros sponsors.
George Soros, the Clinton Foundation.
Absolutely.
And let's not forget Emotep.
You can check out our website, digonamerica.com. You can check out all of our audio. We're on every single fucking audio podcast app there is out there, Pandora, Spotify, etc. Subscribe on YouTube. You can check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/DOA podcast. Hopefully you'll listen to the show, guys.
I won't.
Go fuck yourself.
Dig on America.
Listener, if you enjoy the show, if we make you chuckle or cringe or have any kind of allergic reaction, you should consider giving back to that feeling. Join our awesome Patreon fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Jock and Nerd. You can support the show on a monthly or annual basis, and we thank everyone for their continued support. You guys keep the show going every week for 8 years. nonstop. It's all because of you, our special producers on Patreon. What do you get when you sign up? Well, you get access to an exclusive podcast feed where the shows come out early. There's instant reactions, bonus content. There's a couple of instant reactions to the movie we're about to review up there for you to enjoy. You also get Discord benefits. We do a monthly hangout on Discord, and you don't have to show your face. You can if you want. Some people don't, and then eventually they do. And they're a lot of fun. And we've been doing these for like 2 years now. You realize this? Isn't that
wow?
Yeah.
See, I contributed this to the podcast.
This was Rug Boy's idea, and we started in 2021, I believe, doing these monthly hangouts. And suddenly 2 years have passed. In fact, this week's hangout, it's not too late. You might miss it. It's this week. It's Thursday, March 23rd, the day after this show posts. Be sure to join it. Join us. Put it in your calendar. And there's also a tier where you can pick your favorite movie and make us watch it and review it. And we would love to do that. A lot of fun stuff. Appreciate the support. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. All right, let's get to this week's movie review. It is the latest DCEU. This is still the old DCEU. Closing out with Shazam sequel, Shazam Fury of the Gods. Here is your spoiler alerts.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
This would be the 12th installment in the DC Extended Universe if you start counting from Man of Steel in 2013. And it is the first of the last 4 movies of, it's the lame duck year for DC movies here. And we'll talk about, does any of this even count? Because James Gunn is resetting everything. The other 3 we have to look forward to, we just mentioned The Flash in June, Blue Beetle in August, and then Aquaman Lost Kingdom closes out the year on Christmas of this year, 2023. Of course, Shazam, published in the comics by DC Comics, first appearance in 1940 in Wiz Comics, number 2, created by Bill Parker, C.C. Beck. The sequel on Rotten Tomatoes currently sitting at a 53%, 5.8 out of 10. Audience give it an 88. Audience giving it an 88%. This movie was made for an estimated budget of like 100 to 125 million. Some places said 120, 100. It opens domestically opening weekend, underperforming. Projections were like it's going to make $35 to $40 million, and it opens with $30 million. Opening weekend domestic. Worldwide, 65 million. Does not crack 100 million even worldwide. In comparison, the first one opened to a kind of a surprising $53 million and finishes its run $365 million. So it doesn't break 400 million. This one probably cost a little bit more, and those numbers are down from the original. This one directed again by David F. Sandberg, written by Henry Gayden and Chris Morgan, starring Zachary Levi as Shazam. And then Asher Angel as Billy Batson, the little kid version of the same character. You got Jack Dylan Grazer playing Freddy, Rachel Zegler as Anthea, Adam Brody as superhero Freddy, Ross Butler, as superhero Eugene, DJ Catrona as superhero Pedro, Grace Caroline Curry playing both Mary and superhero Mary, replacing the superhero Mary from the last movie. Megan Good plays superhero Darla. Lucy Liu as Calypso. Jimon Hansu returning as the Wizard. Oscar winner Helen Mirren. She's won an Oscar, right? Sure. I don't know. Playing Hespera. And then as far as the kids, you have Faith Herman playing Darla. Ian Chen playing Eugene. Jovan Armand playing Pedro. Marta Milans playing the mom. Rosa Cooper Andrews as Victor. And brown guy, Rizwan Manji. Love Rizwan Manji. I don't know if he's playing the same character he played in Peacemaker. He was the janitor in the first episode. Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
He's in this too. I wonder if it's the same dude. It just, his credit is docent for some reason. Anthony, tell us, I believe you have seen this the most recently. When did you watch this movie?
Yeah, this is basically, this recording of the show is like an instant reaction for me because I saw this movie before we recorded. I got out of the theater about an hour and 15 minutes before we started recording.
Oh my God. All right, how was the theater experience first, and then give us the plot.
The theater experience?
Yeah.
On a Monday at 4 p.m.,
Yes.
I was one of two in the movie theater.
Oh, that's a little bit more than what was in my theater.
Oh, wow.
Or less, sorry. There's a little bit less, but very close.
Yeah, so there was no movie experience. I mean, just being in the theater.
Let me just say, I saw it the Thursday night, rolled up, very quiet. There was a total of 7 people. That's it, just 7, including myself. So it was nice. I felt like I had the whole place to myself.
Yeah, it was nice in the sense that I didn't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
Like, literally, I could pull out my phone. If I wanted to.
I was like, I snuck in like lots of snacks because I was like, nobody's fucking checking on this. So it was great. Yeah.
So what's the movie about? So I think it's like 2 years after the end of the first Shazam, and these daughters of Atlas are looking to get this scepter staff thing because it's basically that staff contains the power of the gods that the wizards stole and brought to Earth, and they want that back so they can restore their god kingdom in another realm, which they've been relegated to since the wizard, which is played by Dijim Hansu, stole their power, and they want to get it back. And Shazam, played by Asher Angel, and Zachary Levi and his family are trying to stop them, I guess. I mean, that's really it.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. And for some reason, they want to destroy the Earth. Just for
one of them does.
Shits and giggles. One of them does. That's your basic plot. To spare your voice, I guess, we'll go to Rug Boy. No, we'll stay with Anthony. I'm going to make you straight. Coming out of this movie, the first one we all said was fun. It had Mark Strong as Dr. Savannah. And that's the one where he snaps this staff in half that they got put back together. Surprisingly fun. How did you feel coming out of this one?
The first one is one of my favorite DC movies they've ever made.
Wow.
I remember watching that one and being like, wow, this was such a pleasant surprise. Despite that, I had no hype going into this one. And I came out of this one, and I would say it was okay. It was okay. It's not a bad experience. Like, I didn't want to come out of that going, man, this was kind of stupid. Even though there were like dumb jokes.
Yeah.
I think it was just more what the first one really had going for it was like this unexpected character, right? Where Asher Angel, playing Shazam, goes through this thing where he's like, doesn't have a family, seeks out his mom. His mom actually left him purposely. He doesn't have a family. He finds a family within this foster home of kids. And before this foster home of kids, he doesn't really care about anything. But by the end of the movie, he becomes unselfish and shares the powers of Shazam with them. And it becomes this like great moment where he's like grown as a character and also sharing with his family the power. Yeah. This one doesn't really have that kind of character stuff. They try to force in some stuff with him leaving the house and maybe his mom not really feeling like he doesn't call her mom, but I don't think it works as well. And instead of that, they go kind of bigger and badder with like some of the effects and some of the plot stuff and more characters. So like you're kind of spread really thin, and I think it makes the movie a bit more generic of a superhero movie.
Yeah,
and loses some of the character stuff that made it really good. Made a really good first one. So I think it kind of hurts the movie. I think the movie's just a little bit more unfocused than the first one. So all those things in mind, I think, make for a movie experience. And I also think Zachary Levi, in the first one, he's like kind of like a pretty good tone of like what a teenager is. Yeah. In this one, I feel like Asher Angel as a teenager is more mature than Zachary Levi is as a teenager, as playing a teenager when they're supposed to be the same guy.
Yeah.
So I thought that was weird. Okay. And I thought they spread out, like they just spread out too much amongst all these characters. Like I almost felt like Freddie Freeman was the main character, but it's not.
Yeah.
And like you have this thing where the end of the first movie goes on this ending where it's really like poignant, and he's sharing the power with all the kids, like or his family.
Yeah.
And then this movie does everything it can to take the power from the kids and just focus it back on Billy.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's not really like what we wanted to see anymore. We wanted to see the family have the power. So I think it's a very mixed bag, and I just don't think it has as much heart as it did in the first one. So that's my long-winded answer, and I'll shut up so I can rest my voice.
Yeah, rest your voice. So that's very interesting because you didn't get to do an instant reaction having just seen it. So,
all my thoughts are very instant, but this is where I'm at right now.
But it is jives in line, I think, with what I think about the movie, too. It's kind of the same thing. I came out, look, it's okay. That's what I came out going. This was okay. Like I said, maybe it was because there were 7 people in the audience and it needed a crowd. I don't know. But I felt it was a little disappointing. It is, it's still kind of breezy, doesn't take itself so seriously. There's lots of destruction, which is fun to watch. But you were absolutely right. The story kind of lost me. It's very clunky.
Yeah.
It's unfocused. It's confusing at times. I didn't fall asleep like I did at Black Adam, but definitely I found myself bored in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And the CGI I thought ranged from decent to kind of questionable. Like the wooden dragon looked cool, and it takes these weird dark turns. There's crazy cameos. There are moments that kind of stick out. I actually love a lot of the Freddy stuff. And there was some emotional moments, but I didn't connect with it as the same as I did with the first one. I didn't think it had the heart, and I think maybe the first one worked better. Like it works better when the kids are just kids. More, you get to spend time with them and not the super powered versions of them. In this one, they were like the super powered versions a lot. So I don't know. I was like, okay. And then like these post-credit scenes, which we'll get into, is like, what is going on here? Does this have a future? Why is this in here? Obviously, it was made before Gunn and Safran got on board, but you got to think they looked at this and okayed it. So I don't know. So similar thoughts coming out of this. Ruggs, what did you feel? How'd this hit you?
Well, let's talk about the story of this movie right now, which is it's getting not the greatest ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. You got Sandberg on Twitter saying he's not going to do superhero movies.
Well, you're talking
anymore.
about the story around the movie, not the actual story in the movie.
So
Yes.
Now, I feel like, yes, it's very, very humiliating and hard to see your movie not do well. And to be honest with you, there were a lot of worse movies in this movie. This is not a terrible movie by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate that this movie's doing a lot of stuff that other movies are doing, and it just so happens that every movie that Marvel's making has the same formula. You have like the lead character who's a buffoon.
Yeah.
And and it doesn't get their shit together.
It's kind of like
has all the support.
Thor: Love and Thunder a little bit.
Yeah, well, like every Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Like the main character always can't do shit.
Also,
Yeah. So it's like now that you've seen like 3 or 4 movies of this, like before when Shazam came out, it was fresh. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
this is not taking itself seriously. So now like you're getting more of the same. And yes, it's very evident that Shazam is acting way more immature than Billy Batson, and it doesn't quite match up.
Yeah, they don't seem like the same person.
All of his family get the powers, but did they want powers? Like we don't. There's things I'm always lost at sea about. Like number one, why is Billy Batson the chosen one? We never really get to really know that.
Yeah.
Because he's such a buffoon, right? And they even like they're conscious of it. It's meta, but like they never really. They don't show you. They only tell you. Like the wizard at the end is like, I chose you because you shared your powers. And I'm like, okay, well that's something, but like I don't really know. Like, so I don't buy into a lot of the stuff that this movie's doing. And I like the first one because it was focused on him and his friend and this whole idea of like discovering these powers and whoa, I'm thrust into this world. And it was that whole discovery aspect and the trial and error aspect
of testing out your powers scenes are always great.
Yeah,
Savannah was a great bad guy. He, you felt
right.
He had credibility. He felt threatening enough.
You spent more time with the family. You spent more time with them as kids, and the interactions were kind of more that you got more mileage out of them, even though there might have not have been as much screen time, but like you got mileage. I think that the mileage, we spend the time on the bridge, right? when that opening scene,
Yeah,
with
the
bridge,
opening scene where they save
which is
it.
actually pretty badass.
Yeah, but they don't actually save the collapsing bridge. It still falls.
Right, and at the end, it's played for this fucking terrible thing that's happening is played for a joke.
Yeah,
and it sucks some of the gravitas out of that. And maybe they meant to do that. They want to keep it light and breezy. But yeah, you can't have like, oh, you're in peril now. This is, and then laugh it off. It's like it's one of those things that Ragnarok did and Marvel started doing. So it's like a trend that's happening in movies, and it's kind of like now happened so many times that when you go and see it in Shazam, you're like, okay, this was the gimmick for this movie, and now like that doesn't even seem special anymore. So it's just weird. Yeah, I just was like, nothing really offended me about this movie. It was just, to me, it was just like, it didn't rise to the occasion of being like extra special. It was just kind of like, it just kind of did what it had to do. And now we're getting now. We're getting like these things that are very procedural. And okay, you have a hero that's dumb, and you have all the supporting characters like support that and get this person in the right direction. And then at the end, the character will rise to the occasion, and then blah blah blah.
And there's a big sacrifice, but then
they completely undo it.
They undo it. So wait, let's just break it down. Like it, to its credit, it gets right into it. But it's very, it's a very
it gets right into it, and it's to its credit a very easy watch.
It is. Yeah. It's a breezy. It moves pretty well. We meet right.
It's not a slog. Yeah. It's it does have some moments of cool stuff, like the monster scenes are good, and they had the Cyclops in there.
Yeah, it was like almost like you were watching like Jason and the Argonauts.
Yeah, they had like a griffin and like we talk about the unicorns,
but them riding the unicorns. Oh my god,
that was strange.
My eyes rolled out of my head.
Can we just one quick second?
Yeah,
the little girl, what's her name?
Darla. Was it Darla?
Darla, who was really cute in the first one.
Yeah.
They try to do that again in this one, but her doing "Taste the Rainbow" and feeding them Skittles, and them saying it was like close enough to whatever that sweet stuff that unicorns like was. I also
Ambrosia.
Was like, Ambrosia.
That was like.
I was like, what is going? What is this?
Were they trying to do like an ET with like Reese's Pieces? I know that was.
It was like straight product placement and very strange.
Oh yeah. So a couple of things there. You mentioned like one of the problems is like these kids are getting older, even when they're kids, right? Billy talks about how he's 18, he's going to age out of the system. So I don't know how much longer, they can retain their cuteness. But I did like that they had these dark killer unicorns. Wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, that was cool. It's just the fact that they tame them with Skittles.
Yeah, they tame them with Skittles.
And they ride them.
And then they ride them in and impale these fucking monsters right through the chest.
Yeah, it was just very...
Well, it was weird too because... like Billy's like, hey, go out and take care of the monsters while I like fend off the dragon. Right. It's like, how is this possible? They can't do it.
Yeah, they don't have no
powers. Have them feed Skittles to a unicorn and they do it.
Yeah.
And on paper that sounds kind of funny, but it's like, why didn't you just have them have their powers?
If you think about what actually happens in this movie, this is a fucking convoluted fucking series of events. Like, I'm like, why?
Billy breaks a staff in half.
Yeah.
The staff now, like that, has a ton of power just sitting in a museum.
Yeah, they
take the staff.
That was funny
to form it together to get the power of the gods back, but they actually still need an apple. So they got to go to this weird. They got a rock of eternity to find the apple, and then they got to play. Two of the women want to put the apple on the god place, but the one woman's vengeful, Lucy Liu, who looks like she hasn't aged a day, and wants to put it in Earth because she's pissed off at Earth.
Yeah,
and then there's a dome that I forgot was a dome that was still there.
Yes, the dome is there. And also,
I forgot the dome was there the entire time. I thought it left.
Meanwhile, the third daughter of Atlas is flirting with Freddy and leading him into a trap to steal his powers for some fucking reason.
Well, but I will say the line where the mom goes, what is it with our kids and older women? I did laugh at that. Because she's going for, Freddy's going for Thea, Anne.
Yeah.
And then Billy was all up into Wonder Woman.
Okay, let's talk about that, because probably one of the most disturbing scenes in this movie is the dream Billy has.
That was actually hilarious.
I thought that was having a dinner with Wonder Woman, and at first you don't see her face It's kind of like another headless cameo, like Superman at the end of the last one. He's talking to her, and at this moment, the wizard, who is not dead, he thought he was dead, is trying to reach Billy to warn him about the Dodgers of Atlas, and she turns around, and you see the body of Gal Gadot in a Wonder Woman outfit with the head of Jimon Hansu.
Oh, shit. That scene
was hilarious.
That reminded me of like the first movie and like how they were trying to get that 80s vibe where it was like, shit happens. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, just go with it.
But I don't think that, like, and I think they were also trying to have that same thing happen with the unicorns and the Skittles, but I don't think it works as well with the unicorns and the Skittles.
Yeah, that scene was actually kind of crazy and surprising.
Fucking weird, but funny.
And then they kidnap Freddy and they got to go get him. And then there's the Apple of Life and Hespera. They bring Hespera to the Rock of Eternity where they hang out. And then Freddy gets his powers back. And holy shit.
He loses them again.
And one of I thought the scene was hilarious where they have to go get their parents because the dragon is coming. And they finally reveal their powers. And they all go at the same time, we're superheroes. And Pedro goes, I'm gay. And then Shazam, Billy's just like, we know, dude. It's okay. We know. But like they played that and like kind of, I wish they could have delved a little more. You see him like with this magazine in the beginning. But like,
you know what the problem is?
There's too many characters.
There's just too many characters,
Yeah.
right? You have adult and kid versions of each character.
Yes.
And you have 3 sisters that all have unique personalities, right? Like they try to do things that make it not generic. Like all the villains have nuance and actually kind of disagree, and they're all like way in different age ranges too.
Yeah, it's
even
weird.
though they're supposed to be sisters. So like that all like makes it different. But then the stuff you're seeing on screen is stuff we've seen before in every Marvel and DC movie the last couple of years, right? In terms of the action, so the action makes it super. Anytime they like do the stuff that's actually supposed to entertain you in a superhero movie, it's actually like super generic. Like when the tree is growing out of the ground, and like coming after people.
Yeah.
We've seen that in Justice League. We've seen that in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
The tracking shot, even like the same
Yeah.
tracking shot over the ground
Right.
as the stuff busts up. Yeah.
Right, the dome. We saw that in Avengers Infinity War.
The dome reminds me of the Simpsons movie where they dropped the dome on Springfield. I don't know why. And yeah. So let's talk about the villains for a second. These are not fun. It's not in the comics. They're made for this movie, and I thought Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu were just kind of doing the bare minimum in this. They seemed a little bored. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling much effort. I thought Rachel Zegler was good. She's very cute. She's great in West Side Story.
I liked her. I thought I liked the way they wrote the characters in that they were disagreeing, as I mentioned before, but you're right. I mean, I feel like Lucy Liu and Helen Mirren kind of sleptwalked through that entire thing.
Yeah, a little bit, right? And then
and like Lucy Liu is supposed to be the main bad guy.
Yes.
Bad girl.
Yeah.
Bad person. Bad god. But she's not like, she's just like,
she's got a dragon.
I want to
That's
get
about
revenge
it.
on the earth.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's.
And even the whole like
whatever.
flip of Calypso where he convinces her as she's dying to help them. It just seemed to come out of nowhere.
I just don't understand this whole god hierarchy at all. It's just such a hot mess. So
because then we see they play with these rules. So as the movie ends, you know, Billy convinces Calypso to shrink at the dome around him and the dragon and Lucy Liu as he overloads his staff and I guess just explodes. The staff breaks again. She's apparently dead, and Billy is dead. And so this movie took these weird dark turns for me. With the violent unicorns and like, I'm like, are they gonna fucking
when they kill him?
Billy?
I'm like, yeah. When they kill him, I went, maybe they'll kill him.
Yeah,
and
I was
I'd be like, oh, that'd be kind of interesting.
Are they actually? Yeah, that would have been actually something interesting. Are they killing him for real? But no, it's undone in the craziest way. At Billy's burial in the God realm, they're like, we need another God to fix the staff and bring the God realm back to life. And just fucking Wonder Woman shows up out of nowhere, and it is Gal Gadot. Apparently they were so desperate in their marketing. They had revealed this in the commercial.
Yeah. I didn't know that this was happening.
I didn't know. I knew that they had spoiled it. I didn't watch the commercial, so I didn't know who it was going to be. And I was like, oh shit, it's Wonder Woman.
Oh,
so that was kind
They
of
were
fun.
doing this weird thing too before she shows up where they were like saying Shazam and Billy is a god. They were like, oh, he died and he needs to be buried like a god. So we're going to bury him in the god place.
Yep, I
was
mean,
like, oh, now he's a god.
They're all gods. So she's a god.
But then I was like, what? Then I went, well, where's Black Adam? Isn't he a god?
Well, that's the other weird thing. It's like, don't you think somebody would have? I mean, you had the fucking same wizard. It's the same set of powers. They could have connected something. That was a big miss.
As Ruggs mentions, I don't understand how this fits because didn't he give the Rock Shazam powers? The wizard?
He gives
Why are there
everybody
two
powers.
Shazams?
I don't know. And this one, he's saying I shared my powers and he shared it with them. He doesn't have.
How does that fit into with Shazam?
I don't know. And doesn't that Shazam, Black Adam still have those powers?
Well, he chose him to be the champion, and then he was like he fucked off and did whatever he wanted to do. So he had to go find another champion, and then he found Billy Bats. He searched the entire universe for millennia,
this fucking kid.
and he found this kid. For some reason, I have no idea why he's worthy. There should be a through line in this character, like that makes you understand why he's the chosen one.
Because he's generous.
I never really get. Well, I mean, look, in the first movie, he's got a lot of bad shit going on in his life, but he decides to like help out Freddy, I guess his name is, right?
Yeah.
Freddy decides to help out. But I think in the first one, correct me if I'm wrong, he gets the powers, but it's almost like an accident. Like it's just like I thought the wizard was like dying or something.
Right.
And he was like, you need to have it just because someone needs to get it.
He was running out of time.
Right. Yeah. But then in this one, they're definitely trying to play up, like you said, Ruggs, that like he's been worthy of it the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just didn't read for me.
No, they don't.
They didn't do the work to do that.
No, they don't give you any of that.
Yeah, because then at the end you're like supposed to like cry that he dies, and I'm like, yeah,
kind of
keep him dead.
Yeah. So again, no headless cameo. Fucking Wonder Woman, who's a god, restores the staff, slams it down, brings the god realm back, and then he comes back, and then he shares his powers back with his siblings. They all have powers again.
So she can give the power.
Yeah, it's confusing.
She can give the whole power back because I read it somewhere where she's Zeus's daughter.
Yeah,
so
sure.
she could only give you back the power of Zeus, or does she have the power of all those characters?
I mean, they just said you need to be a god. That's all.
You just need to be a god.
That is all the criteria that was given. And the wizard doesn't have powers. I don't know. And then we end with the wizard and Anne are both Jumon Hanzo dressing slick at the end. They're both going to live in the mortal realm. And then this confusing thing where Shazam is like, wait, what's my name? And he's like, it's Shazam, you idiot.
Yeah.
But you can't tell anyone your name.
But he can't say his name because that'll change. But yes, so I was like, didn't you know that was your fucking name?
Yeah, that was weird. I know they did a joke on it earlier, though, where you're like, Captain Marvel. Someone calls him Captain Marvel.
There was a guy that said that.
Name.
Yeah. And we'll get to that. That's kind of an Easter egg who said that. Okay, so then 2 post-credit scenes. Let's get to this confusing fucking mess. In the first one, we are meeting up with Emilia Harcourt, John Economos, walking through the forest, looking for the person they're going to recruit.
Pause real quick right there.
Yeah.
You can finish.
Yeah.
So when I saw Emilia Harcourt, I was like, oh, well, this is probably going to still count in James Gunn universe because he's got his wife in this fucking thing.
I mean, she's in everything. She was in Black Adam also.
That's what Ruggs said earlier. He's going to keep everything what his wife has been in, or he's been involved.
It just looks bad.
I'm
sorry.
It is curious.
It does. It's infuriating.
No, I saw a lot of people tweeting like, is she going to show up in fucking everything now, James Gunn? What's the deal?
The rumor is that Gal Gadot is out, right? And Henry Cavill's out.
I don't know.
And
Gal's out? You think Gal's out? I don't think Gal's out.
Ben Affleck is out.
Affleck's definitely out.
So they're all out. And even I think Aquaman's out.
No, but he might just play somebody else. I think they keep Gal, and maybe we'll get into it. Look, here. So they're looking for Billy Batson, who is Shazam, and he's shooting bottles with his little electricity fingers. Real cute. They want him to join.
For some reason, he's there.
Just in the middle of the forest going zing, zing.
Terribly staged.
Why? Yeah. So Amanda Waller has sent them to recruit him to not the Justice League, but the Justice Society, and he makes fun of the name. So this is all tied back to Black Adam and the other characters.
You're forgetting
into Black
at the end.
Adam.
He makes an Avengers joke.
Oh yeah, he goes. Maybe you should call it the Avengers Society.
He's like, that one sounds good.
But look, so here's what this leads me to believe. There is an Amanda Waller show coming. We saw the Justice Society and Black Adam. Could they salvage those 4? Dr. Fate's dead, but maybe you could bring him back to life. So do people want to see Adam Smasher and Cyclone and fucking Hawkman and Dr. Fate? No Black Adam. Waller is a show. Is that I don't know. Whatever they show up.
Nobody
again.
gives a shit about any of that.
So that's the first.
Well, apparently, what's his name? Gunn in January said he was interested in keeping Levy for the upcoming universe.
Yeah. So that again leads me to think he saw this and said, "Oh, this is okay because we are going to."
This is okay, so my wife gets to be in it.
My
Now
wife
we
is
know
in
it's
it,
okay.
and Zach, you can keep your job. So, okay, and then the second post-credit scene, which is even more confusing, ties back to the first movie's post-credit scene, where in
This is
that
like
one,
deep cut.
where you saw Dr. Savannah, Mark Strong in jail, and Mr. Mind, this fucking caterpillar, who's a Shazam villain, comes to him in the cell and says, I'm going to get you out. We'll think of a way. I'll be back. So it's 2 years later. He's still in fucking prison, and Mr. Mind's there, and he's like, what's taking so long? He's like, we're going to get out. And then he's like, but first I got to do one thing, and slowly crawls away.
Well, he says, what's taking you so long? He's like, dude, I'm a caterpillar.
Yeah, it's just like,
I can't fly, and I don't have any legs.
I move slow.
I just slither around.
This shit
And
takes
he's like,
time.
I got an idea. Or he's like, I tell you everything after I do this one last
And
thing.
the guy's like, God damn it. And I was like, what? Why? So there's
I don't know why they kept that in there, but I did laugh.
So working backwards, the story I read about that post-credit scene is that Savannah, it was like a cut scene. Savannah, I think, was supposed to be in the movie, and maybe it was going to be about Mr. Mind, and Savannah getting out was a sequel, but he wrote this scene, and they were like, can we use this post-credit scene? Now, that first post-credit scene, apparently, someone asked David F. Sandberg, the director, on Twitter, I know it's way too early to ask, but whose idea was it to bring that one character from Peacemaker / the Suicide Squad, Black Adam, into Shazam as a post-credit scene? If it's yours, what's the reason for choosing that character? He said they are supposed to be Justice Society members, but when that fell apart at the last minute, we had to improvise. This happened way before Gunn became boss. I know a lot of people think it was his idea, but it wasn't.
Why would it fall apart?
I don't know. So that tells me that they don't want to use those characters moving forward.
There's no reason for it to fall apart. Those guys are doing nothing. The guy who played Hawkman, like, he's not doing anything.
Eldris Hodge. Noah Centino is not being He-Man, so he lost that role. So I don't know. Even with that, that also doesn't make sense. But having Gal and that cameo, I feel like they may want her to stick around, or this is all for nothing. What is it?
Who knows, right? Because they had it's tough to tell because you have Gal, but as Ruggs mentioned, like Gal could be gone because we just saw Black Adam with Henry Cavill.
Right.
And then 2 days later, it felt like they said, yep, Henry Cavill, you can go take a hike. How about that?
The last I saw, Gunn said we have not let Gal Gadot go. So I don't know.
The only thing, as mentioned, the only thing that makes me think this might be more important is because his wife's in it. You can't shit on your wife, can you?
No.
He's got to get a divorce, and then he can cut that out.
Yes. And she's like, I got to put me in everything. I mean, look, what did he call phase 1? Gods and Monsters. What's in this movie? Fucking Gods and Monsters. That's all.
I don't think this is considered part of his phase 1,
It's
though.
not, but could you use some of these gods and monsters? I don't know if I want to see those gods again.
No, I don't think anyone wants to, based on the opening.
Levi still maybe has a job, unclear. Here's the craziest thing. David F. Sandberg has gone on the internet to talk about the reviews. This is what he says. He goes, on Rotten Tomatoes, I just got my lowest critic score and my highest audience score on the same film. I wasn't expecting a repeat of the first movie critically, but I was still a little surprised. Oh, he says, as I've been saying for a while now, I'm very eager to go back to horror as well as trying some new things. After 6 years of Shazam, I'm definitely done with superheroes for now.
Oh, shit.
That's 2 directors that have quit superhero movies because of fucking Warner Brothers. Right there.
Well, look, I tweeted back at him about
he did.
this.
Ruggs actually commented on this thread.
And I just said, number one, it's not really your fault because, your movie is unfortunately doing all the same fucking buffoon as the main character like everybody else. And now like people are sick of that. It's not your fault, but that's what happened. They kind of oversaturated that market. And then the second thing that I kind of said, this is not a quote, by the way, is that talking about getting into this business of directing comic book films. Yeah. It's a very hard business because you got the older fans that are entrenched and they're bitter because all their shit is like not being adapted properly. And then you got the newer fans that want to like, they want change. They want everything to be different. They don't care about the past. And then you got in the middle, you got the corporate things that all they care about is making money. and how much is this going to improve stock prices? So all of those things, you're entering into a world where, yeah, dude, like it's not going to be fun. If you fuck up, like it's not going to be fun. If you don't make that movie, you're going to get, this is where you get fucking, the two fandoms are going to clash against each other and, you know what I mean? Make an example of you. So yeah, it's not for the faint of heart.
No.
You got to direct comic book movies. You got to be in it.
You have many masters to serve there, right? That and balance that shit.
Well, I think that the best thing to do is to always service the actual comic book and the source material, because that shields you from a lot, because you're like, well, it's in the comics. All right. This is what made it famous. And then if that formula worked back then, it should still continue to work for people who have not seen it. It's kind of like saying, hey man, do you want to listen to this rock band called Nirvana? And then you don't play Nirvana, you play something else. And no, you show them Nirvana. Like if Nirvana has anything like good about it, people will still see it. You know what I mean? You don't go and like remix it, like and put some fucking 808 drums in there. It's just not a good idea.
Well, I mean, look, overall, like this bad opening and critical reception, like this movie kind of had an uphill battle being in this lame duck year.
Right.
You know, Black Adam didn't do well.
Well, here's my take on it, on the movie, and why it maybe performed poorly, and why maybe we're reacting I wouldn't say super negatively,
right.
just kind of like, eh.
Yeah, it's just okay.
You watch the movie, and I really don't know why it was made.
What is the point of the movie?
There. Yeah, there's nothing. It's just super generic.
It's kind of forgettable. It just kind of sits there.
It doesn't take the momentum off the first movie and do anything with it. Like there's no, as I outlined in the, as I started, there's no character arc here that really gets you into it like it did in the first one.
So remember how I said like the Ant-Man Quantumania was comic booky in a good way? This is like comic booky in the other bad way. It's like it's very comic booky, but like,
well, I don't think that that's necessarily bad.
Not bad, but just more generic.
Like you have there's a lot of fucking cheesy ass movies out there, but the character and the story are there enough to grab you, and sometimes it's in simplicity, man. Like you watch a Rocky movie, how much more of a Creed movie?
It's absolutely in simplicity.
How simple it is it? It's like, okay, these guys are fucking boxing. There's really not really a lot to it.
Yeah.
Right.
But then you have the drama of the characters and what their lives are like, and who are these people and why are they doing this?
Right.
And that's what makes it compelling. And then you have the action sequences or the fight sequences to kind of support those things. And I think they're overcomplicating this. Like these comic books essentially are very simple.
Sure.
There's not a lot to them, and they're overcomplicating these things by adding way too many superfluous characters, by trying to serve too many masters at the same time, and you just get this convoluted thing. And now we're starting to tire of it because the novelty of seeing superheroes on screen, we've been now doing this for like what
at least 23 years, 24, 25 years.
Yeah. So like you can't just do the typical shit anymore. Like we're done. We've seen it all.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing.
What have we not seen at this point?
Yeah. James Cameron's going to have to do a superhero movie to show us something new.
Like you want to know, like the Batman was refreshing because it was like a movie where Batman was fucking Batman.
Although Batman loses. Like the Riddler is a step ahead of him the whole time. If you think about it,
right?
He's
but
not very good Batman.
But Batman's not a buffoon,
right?
He's Batman. He's doing what Batman would do. He's just not as competent as he is in the future. But like, yeah, but he's learning. Yeah. He's changing and learning and adapting. So, there's something to that.
I mean, that is a masterpiece compared to some of these movies.
Oh, it's Oscar level compared to some of this shit. But like,
you know what? I didn't even mention my favorite character. I think stole this movie is the fucking magic pen named Steve. That was my favorite character.
Oh yeah, we fucking didn't even talk about that.
It was great. I want to.
Oh man, But that just makes Shazam look such an idiot.
Yeah, that's the thing is like he's writing the letters.
Yeah.
And when she reads it the first time, I am like, oh, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But then like he keeps doing the bit where he like thinks the pen is correcting him.
Oh yeah,
it's like,
he's writing everything that
he's writing
says,
everything
and
he's saying. It's like, dude, you like any 18-year-old would figure out what's going on here.
It's
and be
like,
they overdid that a little.
It's like the joke is more important than your character.
Right.
So,
I think my biggest nitpick with it was the fact that Zachary Levi doesn't act. The Billy Baston is actually more mature than him.
Yeah.
I don't know why they couldn't. I mean, as a director, you don't know that. You can't tell that when you're watching it.
Yeah, and then like the thing is too is they maybe because Billy Baston the actor Asher Angel's getting older, but like go back to him as the kid.
Yeah.
Like, don't keep going back to Zachary Levi as a man child. Like
yes,
that's funny, but like in doses.
In
if it's
small
him
doses.
the entire time doing that shit, like you said, Ruggs, we've seen Chris Pratt and Thor and Paul Rudd and everyone do this bit for a while now. Like
it would be more funny too if he seems competent and then does a stupid idiot thing,
right?
Instead of he's constantly an idiot.
Right.
You know,
I did enjoy him at the pediatrician when he's talking to you that he has imposter syndrome. Like it gives you a little bit into his mind, but
that's funny. It's funny, like written down.
Yeah.
But think about it logically. Would an 18-year-old be like, I'm going to a pediatrician to talk about
he
my
wouldn't be that
psychology?
much of an idiot.
No, right? Yeah, but as an 18-year-old, I knew what the fuck a pediatrician was.
And also, like again, to reiterate what I said, like I think it works better when you hang out with the family as
because
kids.
they need to make that joke. Like that could have been a guidance counselor that didn't have to be written, but they wanted to write that joke. So they sacrifice anything just for the joke. And it's taxing.
That joke is in Knocked Up.
Yeah.
So, Seth Rogen goes to the doctor's office to talk about him being a dad, and he's like, and the doctor goes, "I'm a pediatrician. You're sitting on a fire truck."
Oh my
right now.
God, he does the same fucking joke.
It's the same joke.
So, and moving forward, look, if Shazam continues, like Asher Angel's they're all getting older. You lose the whole point of the fucking Shazam character.
That's just a tough thing about making the Shazam movies. The kids are going to get older.
So let me ask you, would you want more Shazam? I'd be okay if there was no more.
I don't think you can do it. This kid's going to be 25 in the next movie.
Work.
Yeah, it's like he's an adult and he's turning into an adult.
Yeah, it will just be adult Shazam being an adult and still acting like a fucking idiot. And, all right. So let's.
That's just a quandary of the character. And you can't really do much.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a long shelf life on the big screen unless you recast every time.
Correct. That's the only thing they could do is recast Billy. Yeah. All right. Let's wrap this up with a rating and a ranking out of the 12 movies that I've listed here. Real quick. Here's the 12 since 2013: Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League, Aquaman, Shazam, Birds of Prey, Wonder Woman 84, The Suicide Squad, Black Adam, and now Shazam Fury of the Gods. I have left out Zack Snyder's 4-hour Justice League cut. I don't know.
Batman, right?
Oh, shit. I didn't even count the Batman.
No, those aren't. But those
that's
aren't technically
Elseworlds.
DC.
Yeah.
Technically, even Zack Snyder's movie is an Elseworlds movie, right?
Is it? No. That's part of the DCEU. You mean the 4-hour cut one?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So technically that's out. I have to take that off my DC.
Okay,
list.
so then I just said these are just the 12 then if you take that out. Although that movie's pretty damn good and it would probably be high on the list. That's a different story. Anthony, where would you give this movie a rating and where would you put it?
Wow. It's tough. I gave it I was going to give it a 5, but I'm going to go a little higher. I'm going to go 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Maybe 5.5. I'm going to go 5.5.
Okay.
Barely above average movie.
Yeah.
But not like, not shit. Like you can throw this. I'm not mad watching.
Yeah. It's because it does retain some of the charm, right? Some of the heart, a little bit.
Yeah.
The breeziness.
It's just not bad. So I'm actually putting this at, I'm going to go in the 7 range, 5 to 7 range.
Yeah, it's very mid.
Because if you compare this to the crap DC's putting out, it's not so. Behind that, I would have it's in the area of Aquaman, Man of Steel, Birds of Prey.
Okay, it's better than.
It's around those movies. I don't know if it's better than.
No, I'm saying it's better than.
Better than for me. Black Adam, Wonder Woman 84, Suicide Squad, BVS, and Justice League.
Wow. Okay. That's about
'Cause
right.
If you think about it, these are all bad movies.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Ruggs, give it a number and a ranking there.
I will give it a 6. Because I thought that bridge scene was kind of cool and the monsters were cool. And overall, it just seemed like a big movie for the budget that it was at.
Yeah.
I think the budget was $100 million and it looked really good for a $100 million movie. There was some really weird CG
Where did it
going
look
on.
bad? Where was the worst in this?
When he hits the dome and his shoulder looks like it gets dislocated.
Yeah, the whole dome thing looked.
It was terrible. I mean, there was some like questionable CG, but overall, I think it was for the money that they paid. If there was a $200,000 movie, you'd be like, "This is shit."
What do you think about the wooden dragon? Did that?
It was okay. It was fine.
The Wooden Dragon is okay, but it's. You've seen better on Game of Thrones.
I mean, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have that humanity or that ability to like feel more real because it's wood.
Yeah. And, well, just one thing we've seen, and you can finish is when you see a wooden dragon chasing people. We've seen this in Thor. We've seen this in Shang-Chi, where you just have giant CGI monsters fighting a solo person.
Yeah.
So that's another thing where it's just like we've seen this.
But
before.
there was like some Zack Snyder level of destruction. I was like, look at all this collateral damage. They're just going through buildings and shit. People definitely died.
Oh, I couldn't figure out the girl's powers that makes buildings move. I'm like, how isn't everyone dying when she's using this power?
I thought she moved. Yeah, does she move herself through space or actually move
I couldn't get it. I didn't. It wasn't.
It was magic. Were they actually moving?
I didn't get how it worked.
What was going on?
It was too nondescript. Like I couldn't figure out. Like, is everybody dying now?
Yeah,
Like,
what if you were in that apartment and she pushed you through another building? What happens?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
That's a good point.
But that's way too much power too.
Yeah.
Like if you're, they didn't really get into how that was. So that one was a thing. Anyhow, what I'm saying is, I would give it a 6 because it had some interesting stuff going on, visually. And they did manage to get this visual stuff for a $125 million price tag, which is actually what movies should cost instead of $200 million,
Yeah.
And you can do a lot. This just shows you could do a lot with that money. So it's watchable. It moves at a good pace. It's light. You might get bored, but it's not going to be as boring as some other films I've seen. So it's got that going for it. So I give it a 6 for that.
Okay.
I do think that it is suffering from the weight of being a lot of stuff we've seen before, a lot of writing we've seen before, writing for the joke instead of for the character. That's all a problem here. Where does it rank? I think Wonder Woman, Man of Steel, The Suicide Squad, Shazam 1 are way better movies than this.
Yeah.
But, so it would probably end up being around 6 or 7. So mid.
Yeah, you know what? It's nearly the exact same for me. Again, it's not a bad movie. I had a little bit of fun. I'm gonna give it a 6.5. And it's mid tier. It is definitely better than Black Adam and the first Suicide Squad. I like Birds of Prey, so maybe it's tied with Birds of Prey. But yeah.
See, like the question I ask myself is the kid ruining Black Adam.
Yeah.
But they had such cool action sequences with the JSA and everything.
I know, and you know what? It was on HBO, and I was watching like the last act again, and then that big.
So it's like, like how much better is this than Black Adam?
It's just marginally better. Like maybe Black Adam was visually better to look at, but that red demon at the end is a mess.
Yes,
the movie's a mess.
that ruins the whole movie.
The red demon is a mess.
Yeah,
and I think
that kid. Yeah,
the kid actually like sucks.
Yeah,
whereas the kids in this one they don't suck. It's just kind of like they were written badly.
Yeah,
like that kid sucks. And then also, someone said this a while ago, but I'll repeat it. The Rock has like 2 acting phases in the movie. He can either like be really serious. He's either just pissed off or like cracking a one-liner joke type thing.
Yeah,
like he has no nuance for his performance. Zachary Levi is not great either in this one, but.
I honestly think that dude playing Freddy kind of did a good job. He was borderline annoying. Like he could have been.
No, he was annoying to me.
He was. He was riding on line, and it kind of dipped in it. But I think the movie should have just been about them two. You could focus in a little more. But then there's a family. There's all these other people. But I thought the Freddy stuff was kind of funny. I don't know.
For me, Freddy was like, I felt like he was doing his best, Breakfast Club type,
or like
character.
a little Ryan Reynolds-y kind of.
No,
Yeah,
you nailed it. I was going to say he's doing the guy from the Breakfast
Doing
Club.
Judd Nelson? Or no, he's doing Michael Anthony
not
Michael
Judd
Hall.
Nelson.
Yeah, Anthony Michael Hall.
From the
You nailed that
yes,
one,
talking
Anthony.
fast. Yes.
Yeah,
You nailed it. I was going to say that in the beginning, and I forgot
But see,
about it.
Anthony Michael Hall way funnier than
nailed it.
this Freddy's lines here. So, but yes, I could see that. That's really good. Yeah.
That's what that was what made the first movie
Yes.
really good.
Yeah.
Is they nailed that tone.
He's kind of a smart ass, but like clever and quirky.
But this one is just too many like there's a lot of little things you can just nitpick about it.
All right, well, look, we're not done talking about the movie. Let's find out what our listeners thought in News from the Nation. It's time for News from the Nation. It's time for News from the Nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
That was like a little trumpet, like you were starting to play taps or something on your.
Yeah, sometimes you can't get the hole open wide enough for it to be a wet booty you slap.
All right. You know what? We had some positive responses to this movie, despite our opinions. You know, everybody has valid opinions. Daryl K. He says Shazam! Fury of the Gods, 8 out of 10. Funny, charming, entertaining, better than the first one.
Whoa.
And then he mentions the cameos, of course, meaning Wonder Woman, and there's some other cameos I'll get to. Jamie Robinson mentions. So Daryl K. loved it.
He likes to have a good time.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong. I can see how you could like this movie, right? There's like nothing wrong with that. Like, absolutely. Joe Henry also said, I believe I liked it more than the first one as well. Blake Braden says better than Black Adam and about the same as the first one. Weird that the main kid has a deeper voice than Zachary Levi. I guess that is weird. Zach Cooper enjoyed it also. Jamie Robinson pointing out some things like the actress who plays Mary, playing Kid Mary and Superhero Mary, threw me off for a bit. But really, when you're 24, I guess you can play up and down. And then regarding the cameos, he says, am I the only one old enough to know who Michael Gray is and why it was so cool to see him in the film?
He was Shazam, yeah.
Yes, we saw him. He was wearing a red shirt. He played Billy Batson in the Shazam TV show that ran for 28 episodes from 74 to 76. And I think he's the one who calls him Captain Marvel real quick. It's a very
I believe
very
so.
quick cameo. So that was kind of fun. So that's basically the thoughts on the movie. Jesse Rodriguez writes in with some programming thoughts. He says, just an idea. Hear me out. With John Wick 4 coming out next week and Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning coming out this summer, can we get a show that ranks action stars over the last 40 years? I grew up with Arnold, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Stallone, and Swayze. Fuck you, Roadhouse's aces being the main players, especially when it comes to nostalgia. But I'd love to see a tournament that pits the stars against each other. Who is the best action star of the last 40 to 50 years? I'll raise my Patreon fee if I can get this content and commentary.
Oh, shit.
I like that last line.
Oh, man. What a challenge.
Thoughts on this? Because John Bellotti Jr. shut it down very quickly in the thread for this thing.
Why? What'd he say?
He says right off the bat, that goes to Schwarzenegger and Stallone. That's not too much of a contest with this one. Just his hot take. He goes on to say, what is the definition of an action star? Has it expanded? No way you are seeing Arnold or Stallone, even in their prime, doing the things that Keanu is pulling off or the ridiculous stunts Cruise putting himself through. So he's just saying it's how are we approaching it? And it's a different time. But I think there's something there about.
I think there's something there.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you did it over a long span of time and did like Eastwood all the way up to Keanu right now, and I think you could have some fun with it. And you just rank their body of work.
And I still feel like one of those guys makes.
Jesse, would you do us a favor? Pick 16 to 32 actors, actresses, and
there we go.
Maybe we'll do it for you.
But let me just get this out there real quick. So Keanu is just about turning 60.
Yeah.
And Rocky was in the ring beating someone up at 60 something and doing the fucking all those movies. The rejects, what do they call those?
Expendables.
The Expendables, yeah. He did 3 of those at 60 plus.
So here's the thing with these tournaments and these drafts. When we do this, especially the tournaments, we have to define. Like we ran into the whole thing. What is science fiction? We should have defined it beforehand. And Bilotti mentions this. How do we approach what is an action star these days? Has it changed? We have to define what that means.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
Like, does the actor do his own stunts? Stallone does a lot of his stunts.
That's not.
Is it, the dangerous stuff they're doing now versus back then?
Oh, it's who's in an action movie that does well.
Okay.
Like right now, the biggest action franchises right now are Fast and Furious, Mission Impossible, and John Wick.
Agreed.
Who was the main actor in those movies?
I agree.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Keanu.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise. Well, they're then definitely in the tournament.
Yeah.
The Rock is in the tournament.
Yeah, but you could put in like the Jason Stathams and
Jason Statham. I think you would even open it up to like some of the Hong Kong people.
Oh, sure.
Let's really make it interesting.
That could be good. Jesse Rodriguez, that's your homework though. We need a list.
And then you throw in like Clint Eastwood, right? Clint Eastwood's an all-time action star.
But then,
it's a different action.
Then you got Charles Bronson and shit then.
Throw him in.
Mel Gibson.
Throw him in.
Yeah. Oh, man, this could be something. All right, I kind of like this idea. I think we can make this work. All right, let's close up with some what are we watching?
You guys talk about Mandalorian. I have not.
You still not caught up?
I think I might. This might be one of those where I binge it all right before we have talked about the last episode.
All right, just quick spoiler alert for episode 3 of The Mandalorian.
I'm going to take a look at women while you guys do this.
You do that. We'll be quick. This the longest episode of the series yet, clocking in at 56 minutes, and a very different episode, stepping away from Din Djarin and Bo-Katan. And this one showed us life on Coruscant post Return of the Jedi. Your common blue collar life. Dr. Pershing the cloner returning, and it's mainly about Dr. Pershing getting in, rehabilitating himself, going back into society.
Right.
I thought it was very Andor-like. You have the Mando bookending it. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. It was different. Ruggs, what'd you think?
I was completely fucking did not give a shit about any of this.
Oh, no.
What a waste of time. I did not like it at all. It was dumb. Like now we do know that this woman is part of wasn't part of the Imperial Army at one point and was working with Moff Gideon, right?
Yes.
So that was cool to see where she is at.
Yeah.
And what she's up to. We did not need to spend a whole episode on this.
They were both
We did not. This could have been a 5-minute thing, and we spent a fucking half hour on it. No, I'm sorry.
You like it.
This is so fucking. Because what happens? What do you learn that you need to learn? That this guy, they spend a whole fucking episode on this dude who did experiments. And
they're illegal clothing experiments now.
Yeah, and it means nothing in the end, the grand scheme of things. Like, even if it did mean something, this particular thing means nothing. So it was a waste of time, a complete waste of fucking
weird
time.
That they
and I'm insulted that people like it.
It's weird they tried to pull an Andor. It was like a Blade Runner city. You see,
Andor everything.
Yeah.
Every fucking scene that happens
is
germane to what's going
Absolutely.
on. You're talking about a rebellion that's mounting.
Right.
You have people that are pieces that are moving on a fucking chessboard. So things have to move into position. In this is a superfluous thing that's happening. That this bitch is going to just end up somewhere else. And then none of this shit's going to matter.
Yeah,
she's going to be fucking
point?
busting Moff Gideon out or whatever. She's going to fucking, I don't know what she's going to do, but it's completely meaningless that this guy gets killed because at the end of the day, we don't even need, this could happen we could get this information in a 5-minute scene.
I thought they just captured him. What happened at the end?
They fried his brain.
Oh, that's right. They fucking shock treatment.
They reprogrammed.
They mind flared him. That's right. Why? But I was left wondering, why did any of this happen? And why was it? Why she set him up?
It's completely a waste. And if you don't think it's because you're fucking simping for this fucking actress or whatever. Like, give me a fucking break. Like, we don't give a fuck about this character right now. We're about to learn about Mandalorian and all this other shit.
This is so strange because in Book of Boba Fett, they go away from Boba Fett for a whole 2 episodes to give us a Mando show. And then this one, it like goes away and tries to be something else. Hopefully it pays off. It probably won't.
If it doesn't pay off, Imran,
Yeah. You done?
Yeah, I'm fucking done with Filoni. Like, I don't understand what the fuck this is.
Yeah, it was.
What is this?
Yeah. Okay.
What is
All right,
it?
fair enough.
It bet like if at the end of the episode we find out that she's fucking something, but we don't find anything out. It's just a little thing that they. Wow, what a waste.
Anyways, they're following it up next week with the shortest episode to date, 30 minutes.
Great.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
From an
whatever.
hour back to 30 minutes. What, Anthony, you watch anything? You were out partying in Vegas.
Town, yeah.
Partying in Vegas. Ruggs, give me a couple things you watched there that were good.
I watched a shitload of stuff.
All right, just give me a couple.
But I'll give you
ones.
three really interesting ones. So I watched a Jason Statham film directed by Guy Ritchie called Wrath of Man.
Ooh.
And it is actually a pretty decent film. It is a movie about revenge and what you'll do to get it. And Jason Statham plays the man who was wronged. And I think it resolves itself in a very satisfying way. And it by no means is the greatest movie you'll ever watch, but it's a solid, I would say 6.5.
Okay.
All right. And then I also watched Dragged Across Concrete starring Mel Gibson.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta pause you there because what I didn't tell you guys is Seth Morgan has picked that movie as a Patreon movie.
Okay.
Dragged Across Concrete starring Mel Gibson from 2018. I believe it's on Hulu.
Yeah. It just popped on.
So maybe we should pause his thoughts on that.
Yes. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then I'll just get to the other
Okay.
one. The next thing that I watched is I watched a double feature of ninja movies from the 1980s, Kung Fu Hong Kong movies, martial arts film. And I was curious to watch this called Ninja in the Dragon's Den.
Oh my God, there's a ninja in the Dragon Den? How'd you get in there?
Okay, let me just let me tickle your balls for a second.
Oh,
all right.
Please do.
This movie is a super cheezola fest. All right. It begins with a ninja music video.
No way.
With the most unbelievable song that you've ever heard about ninjas with like a funky bass line.
No way.
Yes,
Sounds awesome.
it's like ninjas. Like, you gotta fucking hear it. Anyway, so all these ninjas are doing ninja things, and they're like running up the fucking side of the walls. You're like, the power of the ninja.
Listen to me, children, and I tell you of the legend of the ninja. There were men of the night who moved in the night and shared their lives.
For some reason, that happens, and then they never go back to that. Right? So there's this opening montage. Anyhow, it opens up on this this kind of like a kung fu prince who lives like in a tower, and he has like a servant, and he's got like this teacher that he goes to that's from Japan, and it's like his uncle and he whatever. Anyhow, some dude is there's a ninja on the loose.
Of course there is.
That's trying to kill people, and he finds out that he's after his uncle, like this uncle. So he's like, oh, I got to track this ninja down. Anyhow, long story short is that he ends up fighting this guy, this ninja, to like a standstill. And it's a kung fu versus ninjutsu, China versus Japan, all this stuff. And the ninja is actually a nice guy. But like he's kind of like all turned around trying to kill this guy for some bizarre reason. Anyhow, I'm just going to cut to the chase and tell you how this movie ends. The movie ends that they have a mutual foe and they have to team up against this monk that wants to take over the entire land. Right.
Yeah.
And this monk, he needs to be like, his thoughts have to be pure in order to like execute his powers. Right. And so what they do is they take the ninja's wife and show her tits to the guy.
Okay.
And that's how they win.
That's how they win?
Yeah, the dude is the monk is so distracted by the boobs that like it was like boob laser beams.
Is this a Zucker Brothers movie? What is this?
No, it's a real kung fu
Airplane?
movie.
No? Okay.
And they managed to beat the monk.
So it's from 1982, and Hiroyuki Sanada is in this.
Wow.
Yes.
Who's in everything.
Yes.
He's in John Wick 4. That dude apparently has been acting since the 60s.
Yeah, he's a badass. Dude,
he was a kid.
Look, some of the look, as ridiculous as what I'm saying, some of the craziest shit I've ever seen, like as far as people physically doing things, like their own stunts and like swinging around and doing all kinds of shit. Very good. And I was entertained the whole time. I thought it was a scream. If you want to watch a movie that just will blow your mind and just it is a bad film that's good at the same time. Ninja in the Dragon's Den.
Ninja in the Dragon's
Den. Check it out.
Den.
Yeah, just listen to the theme song and just relish in its greatness.
Okay.
It's not quite Kumite, but it's up there.
Hong Kong, 1982.
Okay.
And I also, at the behest of John Bellotti Jr., watched 5 Element Ninja, which also has some kind of woman that's upsetting the whole balance. They use this one, basically, it's these two factions of, it's also a Japan versus China thing here again. And, they send a woman in as like a girl who's like trying to run away from being abused or something. So these kung fu people, like these monks take her in and she like, she like spies on them and, basically allows them to, she kind of makes it so that they can attack their stronghold, and she left like from the inside, and she's like the X Factor.
Which one was better?
I think they're both good, but Ninja in a Dragon's Den is so fucking bizarre, and it has like the music that's so crazy that it's unforgettable. Like once I saw that, I was like, I'm never gonna forget this movie. It's so fucking bizarre.
Oh my god! Okay, good 80s.
Yeah, so that's what I saw.
Right.
So those are the things I saw.
All right, let's finish with what's out this week. And honestly, it is something I am really geek boner.
We'll review it.
Oh, yes.
I watched the Wicks this week.
Oh, my God.
I'll watch
John
all of
Wick
them.
4 coming out this week. Okay, so a couple of things about this movie, Anthony. Pros and cons, maybe, right?
What?
Well, the movie is 2 hours and 49 minutes. Did you know that? It's a long movie.
See that.
Yeah.
Pros, the early reviews have come out, and currently on Rotten Tomatoes, with 87 reviews counted, it's at 93%.
Oh, shit.
From everything I've heard, this movie is nonstop bonkers action. You said it earlier. This is one of the premier action franchises of today. Is definitely the John Wicks, and I feel like the movies get a little bit better every movie as they build on this world. Rest in peace to Lance Reddick, who plays the concierge, who passed away at 60, I think earlier this week. And
R.I.P.
He was great. He was in Fringe, The Wire, fucking great actor, great as the concierge. I will tell you another reason why I'm excited. I put this in the notes. They put out a final trailer a few weeks ago. There are a couple of moments in this fucking trailer that are just bonkers that make me love John Wick. Like, for example, there's a moment in the middle of a fight where he's fighting like a masked dude and he's got him up against something. He's got a knife to the dude's throat. He puts his gun under his chin, fires 4 times, and then slices the dude's throat with the knife. Just to make sure. Right, you know
that's some Jean-Claude Van Damme in Hard Target type shit.
But you know what? What you learned from John Wick, remember how all those 80s, 90s movies, you always had that third act where the bad guy comes back because you thought he was dead, but he wasn't dead? John Wick makes sure these motherfuckers don't come back in the third act. With methodical headshots, you will see.
He's the Baba Yaga.
He is the Baba Yaga. The other moment in this trailer, it's the street scene. I think they're in Paris. He's shooting at dudes. There's traffic. This dude gets hit by a car, flips in the air. John Wick is shooting at the guy in the air after getting hit by the car just to make sure he's not getting up again. This is why I fucking love John Wick. I mean, again, Keanu's doing all...
He's very thorough.
He's very thorough.
Really,
Keanu's doing all of his
thorough.
stunts. He's riding the horse. He's driving the cars. This Gunn Fu is amazing. I can't wait. Okay, I'm so glad that we are going to see this. We're going to review it next week. I can't fucking wait to see this.
I'm pumped to see it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too.
So get on that, John Wick fans. I mean, 2 hours and 49 minutes of balls action. Fuck. I don't know if I can contain myself. I
don't know. Listen, it's as long as a Batman movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. All right, that's it for this week, Ruggs. Where can the listener find you online?
You can find me at Really Rug Boy on Twitter.
Twiller? You're on Twiller too?
Yeah, I'm on Twiller too. I don't know what that Twiller is.
What about those other ones? And none of those took off. The Hive and the other fucking thing, and I don't know what the other one was.
I don't know. What is that?
Mastodon.
Mastodon, yeah.
Never
Rumble?
Truth Social.
Oh,
Rumble's like the right wing YouTube.
Oh, that and Truth Social. Get on those. They can have a lot of fun over there.
Well, if what happens if Donnie gets arrested?
Oh yeah,
it's gonna go crazy.
That'll be fun to watch. Anyways, links to all of that in our show notes on our website, show description, links on how to support and follow us on social media and contact us. All that fun stuff. Visit it, jockandnerd.com. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
We'll peep you next time. And maybe Anthony's voice will be back.
I hope so.
I fucking loved it. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's really good.
My balls was hot.
Always got to end on that. Jock and Nerd.
Listen to me, children, and I tell you of the legend of the ninja. There were men of the night who moved in the night and shared.